All right, now we'll start again so everyone can follow and not be lost. Thank you for letting me know. It's much better. All right, so we'll start again. So, all right, so the advantages, like I was explaining before, the advantages are that if the ad account is suspended, you can get a new one. There's detailed targeting. If the organisation has multiple pages, you can view from the one spot. And in terms of access control, you can assign responsibility for the different levels. And if they leave your company, you can obviously remove them straight away, which is really important as a damage control process. And the insights, it gives you suggestions for other audiences similar to the ones you're targeting, which can give you some great ideas as well. And it's just a little another part of the strategy that you can incorporate. Particularly if you're lost with ads or you're a bit confused, it can be really beneficial. So we set up, these are the steps that you would use. So I'll give you all a copy of these as well, because there may be things that you want to, the slides, because there may be things that you want to come back to and practice or implement. So step one is just getting started. So working out the key person who will be responsible for all these functions, the primary, the primary page, the ad accounts and the apps, and for giving other people permission. Generally will be the business owner, but it can be other parties as well. You'll need your primary Facebook page, your business info, and your employee details. In terms of info about your business, that'll be step two. So how you do use Facebook, and an industry category for yourself, how many employees and how many pages, ad accounts and apps you work on as well. Just a bit of general info. Step three is your business name, and then you link it to your page. And four is just your business manager profile. So it's an internal thing just for you to look at. And that's just general details. You can put whatever you want in there. So now I can actually show you, and you won't be confused. This is the basic layout. So when you either start with business manager, or if you've got it already, you may not. Sometimes it just comes up with that left column, and if you don't click expand, you won't see the rest. So that's a common thing that people do ask me, which is a great question. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to take you through the settings and the business settings, those two functions. And then over to the left, I'll take you through creating an ad with Ads Manager and Audience Insights as well. I'll show you what that looks like and how you can use that a bit later. So the settings, general settings, are your ad accounts. So it will list which ad accounts you have. So you can check if you've got a spare that's been set up. Some clients have had them set up by people in the past. A really important thing to check with this, and an error that I've seen in the industry actually, is I had a client who had one set up by a previous person, and they had actually set the country timing as Los Angeles. So the client's ads had been running at Los Angeles timing, trying to run here in Australia. So obviously running at ridiculous times, and therefore the reach was significantly diminished. So when you're setting it up, or if someone has set it up, really make sure you check the location of the account and the settings are done properly. Pages is a list of the pages you manage or you're involved with. And so if you're a business that's got multiple, they'll all be listed there. Your payment settings are your details, including your spending limit. So just be sure that if you want to check your limit or you're not sure, that's where you would go to. And notifications are just your ad email notifications, how you can select, what notifications you want. Same with your Facebook and your Messenger. So it's just a little bit of a general section. So business settings, the first tab is people. And so that's where you add people who'll be working. And it's good to have, like I said before, it's good to have the process in place which outlines how people are going to be added and removed. So it's very clear cut, and they can just be removed if they leave the organisation, or if you have to remove them all of a sudden. And this will remove access from them everywhere. If you don't have Business Manager and you've got them on a page and you've got them on different things, you've got to go and do it in those spots, so it can actually take some time. This is very quick. And to add someone, you just click Add New and then you enter their details. So it's quite easy. So with pages, a major benefit is that you can have everything you work on in one place, and you can see who has access and what permissions they have for each page. So you can assign them based on these levels of activity here. So if they're an analyst, they will just be able to view insights and see who's posted as the page. If they're an advertiser, they'll be able to create ads, view insights, and see who's posted as the page. So if you hired a social media marketer, for example, you'd probably have them as an advertiser, unless you wanted them to be able to see, send messages. Then you may look at moderator, and respond to comments, but they can also remove and ban people from the page with that level of access. So that's something to keep in mind if you are deciding between the two. It's really good to know the distinction, because it can obviously be important. Then there's ad accounts. So that's just where you'll either create your new account if you don't have one, if you haven't used ads already, or if you want to create a backup, you would use that as well. If you want to claim your ad account, or also if you go into Business Manager and you've just set it up, sometimes the ad account doesn't always appear. There's been a couple of clients where we've had to go in and claim again, even though, and do it that way. So that's also, if you're struggling with that or it's not appearing and you're not sure, you can go there and check as well. And then you can request access to existing ad accounts, which is mainly for agencies or obviously businesses. And then you can assign them again with different levels of access. So apps just links to apps you may have developed, and Pixel is what you have set up on your website. Those of you that already have it probably already use it for targeting, but you can, through Facebook ads, then target people that have visited your website, and it gives you a lot more interaction to be able to use, and sometimes more warm leads as well. And you can also assign people and partners and ad accounts here as well. So then there's also catalogs. So catalogs is a product catalog. So as it states here, a product catalog, sometimes called a product feed, is a list of products you'd like to advertise on Facebook. Each product in a list has specific attributes which can be used to generate an ad. So a product ID, name, description, landing page, URL, image, availability. So this is more retailers and e-commerce businesses would use these already to keep their inventory up to date on their website, and also to advertise on shopping websites across the web. So there's many product catalogue formats, and you can often export your feeds from other services and upload them directly into this Facebook feature as well. So that's more for product-based than e-com. And then there's a few tabs which are just pretty straightforward, so I'll just run through them quickly. So Instagram allows you to manage your Instagram account. Domains enables verification that you own your website domain. So when you set it up, make sure you do that, because it's really important to have it all linked together properly. Shared audiences, it's just audiences shared with other ad accounts or those that are shared with you. Offline event sets is where data is imported from offline traffic, so a CSV file, that's where it would be displayed. And custom conversions is all the custom conversions you've added to Business Manager, that's where they'll be listed. And then we've got block lists, event source groups, and leads access. So block lists are where you can view audiences you've added to your block lists. Event source groups are all of your event sources like pixels, apps, offline event sets, and pages. So it enables you to view like a complete journey across the different touch points. And leads access controls which people and CRMs can access your leads by customizing leads access settings. So by default, all page admins and connected CRMs for your page can access leads. That's just the levels of access. So what I'll do, I'm just going to quickly see if there's any, before we move on to ads, I'm just going to quickly see if you've got any particular questions, let me know. It's pretty straightforward user-wise, but it can take a little bit to get used to. Once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. So when you're creating an ad, so if you use Ads Manager, which this is displaying, that's generally what I use, it's similar to creating your ad normally. So you'll just choose your objective as you usually would, and go through the top section that I showed you before where it's got Ads Manager. So that's how you would access this bit. And then you would set up your name. And again, like I said, be really careful with the country, and that the time zone is set correctly so that you're not wasting money unnecessarily. And then you'll set your custom audience and your location as you would normally would with your ads. And also, I should mention here, there's been a bit of a glitch recently. Just be careful. They had an issue with some of the audiences that people were selecting. It was an actual glitch in Facebook's coding in their side of it, and it was not showing the reach here. So if you're creating an ad and it's not showing the reach there, it might be worth checking to make sure that it's not related to that. They have told me that it's been fixed so far. With my clients, it seems to be. But it's just something that's probably worth keeping in mind in case you do come across it. Because what was happening is with those ads, there was no point running them because the reach function was actually affected. So definitely don't want to be wasting money on that. So when you're creating an ad, this will be your placements. So your placements, you can either do automatic or you can select them yourself. So your options are Facebook, so you can select feeds, instant articles, in-stream videos, or right-hand column. Facebook, right-hand column. Instagram feeds or stories, and Messenger, home and sponsored messages. So per objective, certain placement selections can actually work the best. If you don't know what you're doing, then you can select automatic, and automatic generally works not too bad. But if you want to take it that step further, you can have a look at that. And then also you'll choose your page identity and your ad format as you normally would, and the ad text. And then obviously if you're entering a URL, make sure it shows correctly and it's all set up correctly, and then away you go. So the actual ad aspect is exactly the same as you would have created an ads manager before. There's nothing that's different. The main difference is the audience and how you can target people. So now you probably know that there are more options for creating audiences. So you can now target offline activities, so people who've interacted with your business in store by phone or through other offline channels, and engagement, so people that have engaged with your Facebook or Instagram. Generally with the engagement with your pages, it has to be over 1,000 engagements for it to work. So if it's playing up, it might just mean that it needs a little bit more engagement before you can get that working properly. So you've got the choice of creating lookalike custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and obviously your saved audiences you can use as well. So your lookalike audience, it gives you the option of, you can do, this is just an example that I put together, but you can choose people that are similar to your page, create a lookalike audience based on that. There's all different options that you can use for doing that. And with Audience Insights, that's a tool that you can use as well. It's really great tool for when you're coming up with audiences and wanting to find more that you can target. So Audience Insights was on the top left tab, and you can start by choosing your audience from these three options. So either custom people connected to your page or everyone on Facebook. And when you go in, then you've got the option, it'll come up down the left here with creating it. And you can select either by country, interests, you can select by people that follow your page and are connected to your page specifically. You can put other people's pages in there to see if it works, depending on the interaction. There is a few little rules with it. So, but basically you can view the audiences with a lot of demographics. So it's based on location, interests, age and gender, lifestyle, relationship status, education, level, job title, page likes, pages that they're likely to be following and that are most relevant as well. I'll show you in a minute because I've got examples. Unfortunately, household and purchase, the N2 categories that you can see on the right, they only work in certain parts of the world, like America at the moment specifically. So I've been told, so they don't work here at the moment, but the others do. And there's a lot of information in the others. So there's definitely enough. So this just shows you the page likes. So you've got the top categories here. So as you can see on the left, I've just put Australia as the country, and I've put interest, social media marketing. So the top categories for this interest are listed here. And then, so you've got advertising agency, you know, the education, product and service. Then you've also got the page likes. So this is pages that these people are likely to be, you know, interacting with. So it can give you a little bit of an idea, targeting wise as well. And then you've got the location. So it will break down the location. So as you can see on the left, it's the same settings. So we've got Australia and we've got the social media marketing. And then it's got the locations these people are likely to be in as well, broken down into the little towns all over Australia. And it will keep going as well. And then you've got the activity. So that will show you the number of times the audience has performed actions on Facebook, and also the devices that have been used. So broken down as well. So that can give you a good indication with your ads as to which are most likely to be looked at. And you can see that desktop and mobile is generally pretty big, and mobile is huge. Like if you look at the iPhone and the Android sections, they're massive. So when you're creating your ads, really important to check the mobile feature and see that it is operating properly. And obviously with your website, you want to make sure that's optimized definitely for mobile as well correctly, because I am still seeing a lot that aren't. So that's basically taken you through the audiences and how you can use the audiences. And it's taken you through the basics of Business Manager. So if you've got any questions about it, I've also got a 12-week challenge if you're interested in that. That's a general, not just Business Manager, it's a general social media. It's to set you up with target audience, your defined strategy, make sure you're using the correct platforms, take you through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and analytics, and make sure you're ahead for this year and set up really well. And there's also a Facebook Mastery course being developed, which will take you into a little bit more in depth of these features and give you more knowledge about it and really expand on what we've gone through tonight. So there is a chance now, if you've got questions, send them through and ask me, of course. If you want me to go over certain parts of it, or you get stuck even over the next few days, you're more than welcome to ask me questions about it. And it's a really great tool, so I really encourage you to take advantage of it and use it properly and make sure that, you know, it's set up correctly so that you know that the right thing will be done by you as well with it. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to go through. If you've got any comments or questions, you can either message them to me or you can email me on alanajoynesconsultant@gmail.com, or you can post in the group, Digital Marketing Hacks for SMEs. Any of those channels are fine. So hope you got some value out of it. And of course, any questions, be sure to ask. The challenge starts in February. So February 1st, it kicks off, February, March and April. All right, seems like all the questions are answered. So thanks everyone, and get in touch if you've got any questions and I'll be sure to answer them, and have a great night.